Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Massachusetts Pirate News. We hope you're having a wonderful time this Memorial Day weekend. I'm joined today by Joe, our quartermaster. Unfortunately, Steve couldn't make it today. We hope he's having a wonderful, hopefully long weekend. How are you doing, Joe?
I am doing fantastic. I wouldn't want to be anyplace else.
Excellent. So we want to remember Memorial Day, which was started, first observance was May 30th, 1868. Especially want to remember all of the African-American men generally men, who fought in the Civil War and liberated this country from the shackles of slavery. And we are nowhere near completing the whole task, and racism exists with us to this very day, as well as sexism, inequality, homophobia, attack on disabilities, people with disabilities, and any other thing. So we're not the just country that we would hope we might be, or at least hopefully most of us hope we are. But we can at least do our best to make progress. And so with that, we have a couple of events coming up. Speaking of standing up for people's rights, on this upcoming Saturday, June 3rd, we'll be marching in the Trans Resistance March in Boston. And we'd love it if you went and joined us. There's a link below where you can tell us if you're going to be attending, and we'll look out for you. That will be starting about 11 o'clock. And it looks like the march is shorter this year than last year. And then in addition to that, on the 9th is the Boston Dyke March, also for LGBTQ plus rights. So if you're interested in joining us for that, there's a link below. And then this June 17th, we're going to be at the Boxborough Fifers Festival. And out in Boxborough, we'll have a table there, and we'd love it if you want to help us out with that. So again, links in the description. Go check them out. There'll also be posts at masspirates.org. We'll talk about the upcoming events also in future pirate newses. And then one other event, we have tentatively scheduled our summer conference for July 22nd, starting at 10 o'clock and going till 12:30, hopefully at the Somerville Public Library West Branch, which is right near the Red Line, for those who are familiar with the MBTA at Davis Square. And with that, on to our other topic. Sorry, go on, Joe.
Can I just add one more thing? We also have the national conference coming up this week.
Oh, thank you for that.
So if you want to be a part of that, definitely come on down and make your voices heard, and be a part of that discussion. It will be posted online. So masspirates.org. Definitely come check it out. Or, not masspirates.org.
Sorry, Joe. The best way to find out more is to go to uspirates.org and click on the Discord logo, and then go and create a Discord account if you don't have one already, and check out the US Pirate Party Discord, which you can also find us at. We have a Massachusetts Pirate channel within that. And with that, we apparently, Biden and McCarthy have made a deal about increasing the debt ceiling. Do you have anything on that, Joe? Have you been able to find out anything more about it?
Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind the times. It's been a little bit more hectic being my peak season for myself. However, I know that it was just a tentative deal, and nothing is really set in stone. I think they just agreed to keep on working on it and just raise the debt ceiling a little bit so that it buys them a few more weeks or a month or whatever it is, in order to keep on hating on each other.
I mean, from what I've seen, they have, I mean, of course, Congress and the Senate will have to pass a bill, but from what I've seen, they're going to prevent domestic spending. It'll protect the Social Security, Medicare, VA, and other veterans benefits, and of course, the Department of Defense. Those will be able to increase. But the remainder of domestic spending, whether it's food stamps or Department of Agriculture, aid to farms, or any other sets of things, those will all be flatlined. Well, that's the wrong term. Those will have no increase year over year until 2025 fiscal year, when it will be allowed to increase at 1%. And we're already facing, high single digit inflation that may be tapering off. So it's not, one of the requirements is it ensures people, which is a strange word to say, but people with ages 49 to 54, i.e. Gen X, with food stamp aid would have to meet work requirements if they're able-bodied and without dependents. Of course, you're able to secure waivers for veterans and homeless people. I'm left with this. Oh, and then sorry, they're rescinding $30 billion of coronavirus relief, and they're keeping $5 billion for developing the next generation of COVID-19 vaccines. It's such a manufactured crisis. There's only 2 countries in the entire world that have a debt ceiling, and there's us and Denmark. And Denmark has a debt ceiling that is so high they're never going to reach it. Yeah, go, Joe.
I think what it is as far as balancing the budget, they never balance the budget. They just keep on spending more and more money. So I'm not against the debt ceiling, because they need to stop spending the Americans' money. They need to stop spending our paycheck and actually balance the stuff out, because it's them spending more and more that's making inflation so much worse. So I agree with the debt ceiling, but I also don't agree with the grandstanding and being like, hey, we're just going to cut out all the poor, all the people who can't make an income. F you. It's like, what? What is that? That's why universal basic income, that's going to go a long way. Make the median and get all the people off of, well, I'm sure a lot less Gen X's would be homeless if they had some extra additional income.
Based on studies, I'd agree with you. I'm going to disagree with you, however, about balancing the budget. Essentially, the federal government isn't a household. They don't have to balance the budget because they literally print their own currency, which is one of the plans was to get around the debt ceiling, was for the mint, the national mint, to mint a couple of $1 trillion coins, hand them to the Federal Reserve, say these are each worth $1 trillion, hand over some $1 trillion worth of multi-trillion dollars worth of cash, and be able to go and do what it needs to do. There are other ways beyond that you can fund the government beyond borrowing it. When the federal government goes and puts debt out, it's in essence putting more resources into the economy. I don't necessarily see that as a problem. We've got this looming, we've got a looming ecological crisis. So being able to pay for that is an important thing. And we need money in order to do a transition to an economy that doesn't require fossil fuels. But it's nothing, one thing that's not on the table is raising taxes on the wealthy. The Jeff Bezoses and Elon Musk's and all the other billionaires, they managed to get away scot-free.
Well, not to mention, there's all the new research going behind the fusion. We finally are able to do fusion. However, we're still quite a long ways away from actually being able to fully harness that. So if we can get that whole ball rolling, that's really, really good. But that's going to take time, research, and dedication. And, if anything, if we're the nation that brings the energy solutions to the world, then why not? I'm sure there's a way that our capitalist society will be all over that and trying to hit people for money.
It's what they do best.
Unfortunately.
So with that, thank you very much for watching us. We'd love it if you joined us at any of the upcoming events we're going to do. Again, they're in the description. If you appreciate this, add a comment, send us email, info@masspirates.org. You can always check us out at masspirates.org. Thank you very much, Joe, for joining me and for me joining you.
And if I could just add one quick thing, you could also, we have a donate button. So even if you can't join us, you can still help the cause. So.
Absolutely. And you can sign, there's a link in the description about how you can join our mailing list. And so we can go contact you and keep you up to date with what we're doing. So with that, again, thanks folks very much. Hope you have a wonderful, hopefully long weekend, and take care. Be well.